Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Ellie, aka All Too Swift, and I upload videos about all things Taylor Swift and sometimes more. For today's video, I thought it would be fun to do kind of a shallow-ish deep dive into all of the songs on the Life of a Showgirl. So if you guys want more detail on individual songs, I can definitely do that. But for today's video, we're going to be talking about every track on the album and what it's about, what it means, and kind of just breaking them down so that you can understand them. I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on the album already. I would just like to establish that I personally think it's really fun. Obviously, it's not like folklore evermore writing-ish, like, okay, but it's fun and it's poppy and it's upbeat and it's a good time. So I'm happy. If you're not happy with it, maybe this video will change your mind once you know what the songs mean. Maybe it won't, but it's your choice. If you don't like the music, don't listen to it. Anyway, before we get started, please make sure to leave a thumbs up so this video can get recommended to other people that might want to watch it. Also, comment down below your current favorite track on the album. Right now, I think mine is Elizabeth Taylor, but it's kind of been switching between that one and Opalite, so I don't know. So subscribe if you're not already, because I upload videos every single Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, and they're pretty entertaining and pretty fun, so you should definitely stick around. Okay, without any further ado, let's get on to the video.
I remember it too well.
Got my notes on my computer so that I can make sure to talk about the things that I want to talk about, but let's go ahead and get right into it because we got a lot of ground to cover. So I'm gonna go in track order. If you have a specific track that you want to hear about, you can skip to that timestamp and then you can listen to that one. Also, one last mandatory disclaimer that these are my interpretations. They might not be 100% correct. They might be completely off the mark, but this is what I thought when I listened to them and when I read the lyrics, so that's what I'm telling you. So first up, track 1, The Fate of Ophelia. I think this one is pretty clearly about her relationship with Travis, kind of talking about how he saved her from killing herself, basically. She, as we know, was so heartbroken when she broke up with Joe. She did not believe in love anymore, basically, and Travis saved her at probably one of the lowest points in her life, arguably. Obviously, as we know, in Hamlet, Ophelia dies, she drowns, and one of the lyrics specifically, she says, drowned in the melancholy. Metaphor is saying she's so sad, she's gonna die, she's drowning in that sadness, but he was the one that was able to save her and pull her out of that. One of the lyrics that stood out to me was where it says, as legend has it, you are quite the pyro. I think this is a reference to TNT, which is their like couple like ship name, nickname thing, whatever, because obviously TNT is dynamite and pyro is like fire and flames and everything. So I felt like that was just kind of a clever little thing that she hid in there. I also feel like it felt kind of like a sequel to So High School in a way, because there were a lot of references to like his team and like cheering for him on the sidelines and all that kind of stuff. It just feels very clearly about Travis. All right, track 2, Elizabeth Taylor. This one, just for some background, Elizabeth Taylor was a lifelong actress who ultimately died at age 79 due to heart failure. And one of the lines of the song that repeats a lot in the chorus is Violet Eyes, Elizabeth Taylor. And this is a reference to the fact that a lot of people thought that she had violet eyes, but they were really actually blue. But it was like just a specific shade of blue, so that if you looked at them in a certain lighting or if she was wearing a certain type of makeup, her eyes looked violet, but they were blue. Overall, I think that this song is just about the concept of being in the limelight for a long time and people assuming that that fame is permanent and going to stick around forever, even though Taylor doesn't necessarily think that her fame is this concrete thing that's gonna stay there, which is especially touched upon in the line, "You're only as hot as your last hit, baby," because obviously, as we know, the world moves very fast, the internet moves very fast, the music industry is no exception to that. So if she wants to stay relevant, she has to keep releasing new things. And so I think using Elizabeth Taylor, someone who is famous throughout the entirety of her life, and comparing herself to Elizabeth Taylor, she's showing that, hey, I've been famous for the entirety of my life, but I am actively trying to keep that going. Like, it's not just something that happens. This one I think would be really fun to do a deeper dive into, so I definitely want to do that. Track 3 is Opalite. This is another one of my favorites on the album. One of the things that stuck out to me was one of the lines, "I thought my house was haunted, I used to live with ghosts." I think this is a reference to Antihero, and because Antihero is a song very much about self-deprecation and how she is the root of all her own problems, and in the music video for Antihero, we have Taylor and a bunch of ghosts that are in her house. I think her living with ghosts, that's her an anti-hero. She thought that her own home, her own headspace was contaminated with these ghosts that were taking up all this space and ruining her life, essentially. Because Opalite is a song about kind of going through all that and coming out on top and coming out stronger on the other side, I think that's a reference to the fact that, yeah, she went through all the feelings in Antihero and she felt all these feelings, but she was ultimately able to come out stronger on the other side. The song really seems to explore the fact that she never thought she'd find her person, but she kept persevering, and now finally she's successful and she's happy. It's very upbeat and very inspiring, and it feels very much like a sequel to Midnight's. Like, it's kind of the response to Midnight's. Midnight's was she was sad and alone and writing these tracks at 3 a.m. And this song is just very peppy and very upbeat, and it feels like, okay, yeah, I did go through all that with Midnight's, but look at me now. I think it's cool too how the first chorus is kind of like, okay, my mom told me this, and then after that it's she's telling someone else. And I think that's in reference to the fact that she's bringing someone else into her orbit and she's teaching them all the things that she had to learn, just showing, hey, yeah, like, it's hard right now, but it's going to get better. I promise. I've been through that. I know. Moving on to Father Figure. This is one of my favorite tracks meaning wise, I think, and I've seen a lot of people say that it's about her relationship with Olivia Rodrigo, either genuinely or satirically, but personally, I'm of the opinion that it is about her master's situation. That was what I thought when I first listened to it, and I didn't really see a lot of other people talking about it. I think at the beginning, the song is being sung from the point of view of Big Machine Records, her record label that she originated with, but then at the end it switches and she's the one in charge. Because if we think about it, Taylor was recruited by Big Machine, and at that time, Big Machine was not an established large label group. She kind of helped get them up off the ground, but they still knew more about the music industry than she did. She was new on the scene. She was this little 16-year-old girl. So in that sense, Big Machine as a label was her father figure. Essentially, it's talking about the fact that Taylor is doing what she's asked and remaining loyal to the record label, and in return, they're helping her achieve all this success. Then we get into where she's starting to want to break away from them and wanting to own her work. Specifically the line, misguided visions that to fulfill your dreams you had to get rid of me. This marks the point where she switched labels and started owning her work and started on her journey to own her masters. I don't have time to do like a line-by-line analysis right now, but essentially just know that Father Figure is Big Machine is this father figure to Taylor, right? Taylor is learning all these things from her label. Her label is protecting her, helping her succeed. Slowly, though, she wants to break away from that and she wants to be her own person. While this is happening, she's trying to break away from her label. Her label is guilt-tripping her, and her label is making her feel like she's never going to be successful if she tries to go out on her own. But she goes out on her own anyway and is successful, which makes her in turn the father figure, because she was the one that was more successful in the end, and she was the one that paved the way for other artists. And she showed Big Machine what was going to happen if she followed through and did what she intended to do. In summary, I think this song is a lot deeper than people are giving it credit for, and I love it. One of the tracks that I feel like people aren't really enjoying as much is Eldest Daughter, which is kind of sad because I know a lot of people were really excited for this song. Personally, as an eldest daughter, which I literally have 7 younger siblings, so I'm basically as eldest daughter as you can be. I love this song so much, specifically because my entire life I've been taking care of other people and kind of just trying to like pretend that I know what I'm doing, even though I don't. I think there's 2 interpretations for this song, and I think the one that is kind of the most obvious is that she is singing this song about her relationship with Travis because she's an eldest daughter, he's a youngest child, and so obviously like that makes sense that she's singing about that. But the interpretation that I favor personally is the idea that she's painting herself as the eldest daughter and she's kind of singing it to her fans and talking about how she's protecting them and she's helping them. One of the lyrics specifically, never gonna let you down, never gonna leave you out, which obviously sounds like a Rickroll, but it's not. As an eldest daughter, she feels that it is her job to protect people, and I get that as an eldest daughter completely. And I think something that not a lot of people realize is one of the main things about Taylor's fan base is the fact that most of her fans feel like they've grown up with her, and in a way she's protecting her fans through her music, and she's serving as an older sister through her music. She's writing about all these experiences that have happened to her. While listening to a song can't necessarily fix what's going on in your life, I think that it can be reassuring to know that somebody has been through something similar and knows what it feels like. And a lot of times just having a song that you can relate to that shows that you're not the only one in the world that has felt this way can make you feel a lot better about your situation, even if it doesn't fix your situation. So I like to think that this song is talking about her as an eldest daughter. She's the eldest daughter of the entire Taylor Swift Swiftie fandom, right? Because she's Taylor Swift, she's up here. All of her fans are down here. She is the eldest daughter of our little like fandom family. I don't know. I think that interpretation is really cute. I think it might be more likely that it's just about her relationship with Travis and her feeling like she needs to protect him, but I don't know. One of the lines that I wanted to talk about too is, "I'm not a bad bitch, this isn't savage." I've seen a lot of people not liking this line, and I think people aren't realizing, first of all, the parallel, "I'm not a princess, this ain't a fairy tale" from White Horse, but also, it's not supposed to be serious, you guys. It's supposed to be like a tongue-in-cheek, like her last feeble attempt at seeming cool. This song is super, super vulnerable, and she's literally telling us how she's trying to be cool and confident and do all these things. And this is like, imagine like a candle, and your candle is flickering, it's trying to light. This is her last feeble attempt to light that candle. Like, it's like a half-hearted. It's not saying like, oh yeah, this isn't savage. No, it's her sitting there being like, I'm trying, guys. Like, and I feel like people aren't getting that, and I need to find the words to better describe that. When I do a deep dive on this song, I will definitely figure out how to better describe that. But the thing people need to understand is that it's supposed to be tongue-in-cheek, it's supposed to be ironic. Ultimately, whether the song is about her relationship with Travis or about her relationship with her fans, it's a song about protection, and as an eldest daughter, I am latching onto that because I feel the need to protect my siblings so much. That's my job. I'm their big sister. I'm like a third parent. Like, that's my job. And I think people don't necessarily realize what that's like unless you've been through that. Next up is Ruin the Friendship. This song I was not expecting to be as sad as it was. It broke my heart into a million billion pieces. Obviously it's very carpe diem, like seize the day. And I think it's very reflective and very personal. It reminds me a lot of Forever Winter, and I've read that it could be about the same person that Forever Winter is about. But overall, I just think it's a very personal and vulnerable song. But I do enjoy that she's sharing the wisdom that she's learned with us. It's better to say something and ruin the friendship than waste all these years doing nothing, and then when you can't do anything, you regret it. I also feel like it kind of feels out of place on the album because most of the songs are really upbeat and happy, but I think that this kind of goes to show more of like the behind the scenes of a showgirl's life. Like, it's just very, you didn't realize this was going on behind the scenes, but this is something that's been on her mind and something that she's thinking about. And when you think about like Taylor Swift, you're not necessarily thinking about her wishing that she could go back and change things with this guy from high school. That's something that's been weighing on her mind, clearly. And I think it was very brave and very vulnerable of her to share that. And I really like the song. I think it's beautiful. Next up, Actually Romantic. This song is very tongue-in-cheek. Again, a lot of people are saying that it's cringe. It is cringe, but it's meant to be cringe, I fear. I think it's very satirical. I've heard a lot of people say that it's about her feud with Charlie XCX, which I'm not sure how much of that is true. I honestly have not really followed the feud. I probably should do some more research on that. But my two going theories about the meaning of this song is that either it's about her feud with Charlie, or it could also just be kind of a commentary on the media's scrutiny of her life, because the whole message of the song is someone's criticizing her and she's like, oh, you're thinking about me, thanks. It's just very funny, and yeah, okay, it's cringe, but I think it's fun cringe, and I'm glad that she's able to kind of relax and like have fun with that concept. Wishlist is a really cute song, but it's also really sad. This one is just basically about the fact that she wants to live a normal life and she wants to settle down and just have a little house on a cul-de-sac with her kids and her husband, but she can't. And this is very sad to me. Obviously, like, she's Taylor Swift, she can do whatever she wants, but to know that she feels like she can't do these normal person things, obviously, yes, it comes with fame, but it's her reflecting and her saying, okay, yeah, like, sure, I have the potential to do all these cool things and all these famous people want all these cool things, all this expensive stuff, I just want to be able to have a house and just go and sit on my front porch while my kid plays basketball. Like, that's what she's saying with this song. I think it also is kind of talking about the fact that all she's ever wanted was to find her true love, and she's made so many mistakes along the way to get there. She doesn't necessarily know if this is 100% like the person for her, but like she thinks it is. She's just kind of like scared, I guess. I think ultimately, like, however scared she is, this song is very hopeful. It's not necessarily a sad song. It's very reflective and very vulnerable, but I think ultimately it's hopeful, and it's just about the fact that she's found her person and she thinks that she's going to be able to make her life work how she wants it with her person. The next song is Wood. This song is filled with innuendos, let me tell you. I'm not going to go through them because if you were old enough to understand them, I'm sure you already identified them, but it's very Sabrina Carpenter coded. We know Sabrina loves her innuendos as well. One line in particular that stuck out to me though was all of that bitchin' wishing on a fallen star, which I feel like directly parallels in Tim McGraw when she says the only thing that keeps me wishing on a wishing star. I think it's kind of just a callback to the fact that little Taylor had no idea what was ahead of her. Like, she didn't know who Travis was. She didn't know like any of this. Even if we're not taking it in the context of the song and like relationship wise, career wise, she had no idea what was in store for her. And so I feel like that line specifically is just kind of like a nod to little Taylor. Like, oh, you don't even know what's coming, babe. I think this song's an interesting one. I think it's, again, meant to be very silly, very satirical, and I can definitely see Jason teasing his brother about this one a lot. Next up is Cancelled. I feel like I keep saying this about every single song, and I promise this is what I genuinely think about them. It's not me trying to defend them, but I think Cancelled also is satirical, and this one I compare very much so to Blank Space. I actually did that. One of my professors today asked me what I thought about the song, and I compared it to Blank Space, and she was like, oh, that makes so much sense. I think personally, in this song, she's playing around with the edgy persona that people have given her, which is kind of a callback to like Look What You Made Me Do as well. But it's just the fact that like people think that she is all these things, and people think that she's friends with these people that are doing all these crazy things and they want to cancel them, and she's just kind of taking that idea and running with it. I think truly is what she's doing. I like that she references the idea too that she's like sold her soul, because a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, musicians sell their souls, which you can believe whatever you want. Personally, I do not believe that selling your soul is possible. I don't think that's a thing. I think metaphorically it's a great metaphor to use, but based on my own personal beliefs, I do not think that it is physically possible to sell your soul, which I think is mainly because I'm not Christian, so I don't believe in the concept of the devil. I don't think you can sell your soul to the devil because he doesn't exist, but I think it's a great metaphor to use, and I think that's how she's using it, as well as calling out to the fact that people genuinely do think she has sold her soul. All right, now with Honey, this song I think is just very sweet and very cute. It's just basically about the fact that she's never had anyone genuinely call her like a pet name like honey or sweetheart or anything like that. It's always been condescending. This is just saying that she's in a happy, confident relationship where her partner is able to call her these things and it doesn't feel condescending. He's able to call her these names and genuinely mean it, and she feels loved and seen by these comments, which I think is so sweet. I feel like this song is just talking about her relief that she's able to now associate these types of words with something different, whereas before someone would call her sweetheart when they were like, oh yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. But now she has someone that's like, oh hey sweetheart, you want me to do this for you? Like, it's so cute. All right, and then lastly, we have The Life of a Showgirl featuring Sabrina Carpenter. This concept is not new. She's written about like the idea of someone looking up to someone who has a career and then like seeing what that career is like and like how it plays out and all that before, specifically in The Lucky One and Clara Bow. The Lucky One a little bit more so, but kind of Clara Bow as well. And I feel like both of those songs are very reminiscent thematically. The song is very narrative in nature. Watches a showgirl perform and she's like, I want to do that. And the showgirl is kind of like, you don't know what you're getting into. Kind of tells about how people have tried to undermine her success and tell her she's not good enough, and all these things that she's accomplishing aren't actually her own accomplishments. And I think it's interesting that this was the last track. First of all, I love the ending of this song. I think it's so cute how it's a clip from the Eras tour of her saying goodbye and thanking the audience. But I think it also serves as the perfect ending track to this album, purely because it's sort of a reflection on how people will take the album. Like, people are already criticizing it and saying that it's not good. And she knew that this was gonna happen. Like, she's not stupid. She didn't think everyone was gonna be like, oh my gosh, yay, perfect album, we love. Also, because you can never please anyone. That's not possible. But I really like the line, I'm immortal now, baby dolls. And I think it's just, she's like, okay, yeah, you don't like it. Sucks to suck. I'm immortal. Like, okay. And I think it's just really a call out to her haters and even like her fans that are so highly critical of everything she does, because we have some fans that are so serious and they're like, oh, this isn't sophisticated enough. Okay, buddy, slow down. It's a song. But I think she's calling them out in that, and she's saying, okay, yeah, you can say what you want, but like, I have 4 Grammys for Album of the Year. Like, that's a pretty amazing legacy. Alright guys, that is it for today's video. It's gonna be so long, but I'm gonna try and get it out as soon as possible so that you guys can watch. Definitely make sure to let me know if there are specific songs you want me to do a deep dive into, because I can 100% do that. And yeah, if you made it all the way to the end of the video and you're not subscribed, you might as well, because you obviously enjoyed it. And then that way you can see when I do a deep dive into the songs. But yeah, this video is already so long, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. But I love you guys so much. I hope you know that you are all amazing, strong, wonderful, lovely, incredible showgirls. And yeah, bye guys.